Hi, welcome to the Israel First television program from our studios in Jerusalem. Great to have you with us. We're the program that brings you news. We bring you what's happening behind the scenes. And we've been doing a series really in the news about the what's happening globally with the globalists, the New World Order, the control that's coming into the world, and how that's affecting Israel in the news. So we're going to have a look about that today. And we spoke in from the book of Daniel about the central government of the world and how that would come to pass in the last days. And so some people are very surprised that it's happening so quickly. But, you know, since COVID, we've been having, Natalie, things happening one after another. Now, in the program today, we're going to be looking at artificial intelligence, which is really so well known as its acronym AI. We're going to be looking at the Nimbus computer. We've looked at it before, which has taken over the government administration. In other words, all the data processing is now done by Nimbus. We're also
in Israel.
Mm-hmm. And we're going to be looking at smart cities, facial recognition cameras, spy software, digital currency, electric cars. So all these things in the news that we're seeing are to do with the control of the end times, the last days.
Of the last days.
Yeah, the empire that Daniel spoke about, the final empire and its control of the world. Now, in Israel, the news has been very, very dramatic, really, although nobody seems to have seen the bit of news that I picked up, and I think, Natalie, you picked it up first, was about Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, who has hailed a dawn, by the way, so that's what he said, of the AI era, artificial intelligence era, after a call with Elon Musk. Netanyahu trumpets the country's potential as a powerhouse for AI, and he claims US leaders in the field also believe Israel will become a major AI, artificial intelligence player, following phone calls with the heads of Twitter and OpenAI. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said that he intends to formulate a national policy regarding civil and security uses for artificial intelligence. They have been talking about a national policy for a long time. Even so, things are still progressing normally. Things are, they're actually progressing at great speed with artificial intelligence in Israel. After talking with tech billionaire and Twitter chief Elon Musk and visiting OpenAI CEO Sam Altman, according to Netanyahu, Musk said that Israel can become a leader in the development of artificial intelligence. It already is, really. You know, companies, and we've featured them on the Israel First television program, like Mobileye and other companies that are working in artificial intelligence.
Even with the glasses.
That's right.
With
the spectacles that can help blind people read the newspaper. We're at the beginning of a new era of artificial intelligence, said Netanyahu in a video message posted on social media. The Prime Minister said that in the coming days he would convene special working groups to deliberate on national policy for artificial intelligence, both in the civil and in the security field, asserting that Israel will become a national power in the field of artificial intelligence. Both Musk and Altman are leaders in the field, which has seen sweeping advances, I would say even more than that. And particularly with COVID and everything, we saw the huge amount of artificial intelligence that is coming into the world. The release of the acclaimed ChatGPT artificial intelligence, we talked about ChatGPT before, with its first speech in the Israeli Knesset was from a ChatGPT via a member of Knesset, member of Parliament, which Musk has helped found, showed off the possibilities of new artificial intelligence tools and has helped drive the interest in the technology. Altman visited Israel to raise awareness of AI. And by the way, for the young people, this is not anything new. They're already very invested, the young people. And if you're young and watching the program, you'll be very invested in artificial intelligence. It's part of the technology of the days that we live in. And our concern isn't, you know, there are good things and bad things like any technology. The problem is that artificial intelligence,
who is using it behind,
has some serious control issues. That's the big issue.
And I think we have to go back again. We are made in the image of God. I know that they are also using it a lot in the health division. And so they will say that the computer will be even better than your doctor to do prognostics and all of that, which is okay, I understand, but like we are human beings. It's like a face-to-face with a human being is very important. And you know, sometimes a doctor instinctively can feel something because of how the person is speaking, how the person is walking, you know, different things that the computer, AI, Nimbus, they don't have this sense that we have as human beings. When another human being see each other, there is something that's happening, and sometimes your deep instinct can show you what is wrong with the person, and with the brain of the computer is all brain work, but we are not just brain, we are souls. And so, like, the soul is totally put on the side. And this is not what we are. We are not just bodies. We are not just like a machine and human machine. We have personalities and we have a soul. And so sometimes, funny enough, disease can come from soul's disease, I would say. And your body has a disease because your soul is sick, something is going wrong. So the computer won't be able to pick up these things. They will pick up like with the brain, with what the computer has been organized with. So all these things, and I know, like as you say, a lot of young people are saying this is wonderful and all of that, but we are totally missing our human touch.
And the problem with artificial intelligence, as I said before, is the control aspect with cameras, surveillance and things like that. Like in China, facial recognition and the use of artificial intelligence to control people. Now, speaking in Tel Aviv, Altman, he's from ChatGPT, I believe, said it would be a mistake to put heavy regulation on the field right now. Well, that would be the thing I would think was needed, but he says it's a mistake to do it. But he did say there is a risk of creating a super intelligence that is not really well aligned. In other words, that the artificial intelligence can become salient, that it can have an existence. For some AI developers, however, the holy grail of artificial intelligence is called AGI, which is artificial general intelligence, a level of technology at which machines would have a much greater degree of autonomy and versatility, enabling them to outperform humans in almost all cognitive tasks, which is another issue, is the making people redundant from a lot of jobs and taking them over by artificial intelligence. How dangerous is AI? At its current rates of development, artificial intelligence has already exceeded the expectations of many observers, with milestones having been achieved that were only considered a few decades ago. Some experts still estimate that the development of human-level AI is still far away, but however, most researchers are coming around to the opinion that it could happen before 2060, or it may even have happened as we speak. And the prevailing view amongst all observers is that they are not 100% sure that artificial general intelligence won't happen this century. Well, I would say that it's probably either happened or is happening because of what's happening in the world. Most of the safety problems associated with super intelligent AI are so complex they might require decades to solve. Even the people who've designed this technology, Nathalie, don't know how to control it. A super intelligent artificial intelligence will by definition be good at achieving its goals, whatever they may be. But they, as Nathalie was saying, they're not human goals, they'll be computer goals. And they might not be completely aligned with ours. And they might not be that happy with lower forms of artificial intelligence, ones that are not on the same level as the advanced artificial intelligence. Once the milestone has been reached, they say, danger of losing control over the technology. We're in danger of this technology taking over. So, well, how do we view this as believers? How is this all fitting together? Well, this is all part of the last day scenario. It's all part of the one world government. It's all part of the scenario where we have a one leader. We've already got the World Economic Forum. We've talked about that before. They want to do a world digital currency. We've talked about that before on the program. This is something Israel is looking into. Well, Israel, Nathalie, much to my shock, has been helping set up a smart city in the United States. It's the Israel Innovation Authority. We've talked about them before. They're very involved, by the way, in artificial intelligence, are collaborating on a smart project in Pear Tree Corners, Georgia, using the Internet of Things. If you're in Pear Tree Corners, maybe you can contact us and tell us about what's happening there, which includes 5G, wireless environment, driverless cars, autonomous. I mean, you know, some of these things are, you know, you can't think that people will be will be sitting in a car without a driver. We have actually done a program about all of this before, but even so, the reality of a car going around is another thing.
And this was very interesting because when we did the program, I was bringing back the man in his office, and I was saying, I love driving, and he was like, yeah, this will be something of the past. He's like, that's it. This will be a little pleasure that you won't have. And he was very strict about it. I was like, whoa! And this was like before all that what we are learning now. So they already done a lot of research. They already have goals, and this is what's happening now. This is what's happening in front of our eyes now.
What's going to happen? I mean, there's more and more electric cars in Israel. There's more and more places to charge electric cars in Israel. There's more and more sales of electric cars. More and more adverts, publicity of electrical cars in Israel. And what's going to happen is these cars are not available for everybody. They're going to be certain people who will have them and certain people who won't. So when they phase out petrol cars, it's not to replace them at all. It's that there'll be a certain elite who will have these cars and everybody else won't have them. And also they will be tracking them. I mean, everything is being controlled. They'll be controlled. Mm-hmm. We were talking about this before with the smart street lights, the smart cameras, smart traffic lights that are being introduced. And in Georgia, they're introducing smart CCTV cameras, smart street lights, smart traffic signals, 5G, by the way.
When they say smart, every time smart, like you can have a smart Hoover, you know, smart cleaner and all of that. This is control.
Yeah, I mean, and it's made, the selling point is that it's very convenient, allegedly. Smart pedestrian crossings, artificial intelligence controlled infrastructure, control room together with the millions of Internet of Things sensors. We have come to a variety of devices and services across the city. This is in Georgia, from our smart parking sensors, smart cameras, bus routes, everything. And with the roads to Wi-Fi access points and everything in between. Chief Technology Officer of Peachtree Corners, Branham told American news media, over time, even more parts of our city will be connected. Now listen to this list. I'll just do this list, and then I know Nathalie's going to share from Zechariah, I believe. You're going to be talking about Zechariah.
Yeah.
So,
but a different Zechariah, not the prophet.
Right. So, Pear Tree Corners in Georgia, which is in Atlanta, which is on, I think it's on the outskirts of Atlanta. But as I say, if you're in that area, maybe you can help us and tell us a bit about what's happening. They have beep shuttles. These are electric vehicle shuttles. They have sensors for autonomous vehicles. In other words, there are sensors on the road that make them work. There are Bosch CCTV cameras. There are 5G traffic signals. There are intelligent street lights. There are roadways with smart stripping, which is when they put these tracks on the road. There are smart pedestrian crosswalk signals. There are T-Mobile 5G, dedicated fiber optic system to power the Internet of Things, and video surveillance. And just to finish the story, it says the collaboration between Israel and Pear Tree Corners has been growing for the past several years, and we're excited to bring some of the most advanced new smart city technologies, says ILA chairman Dr. Amram Abraham, who is also the chief innovation scientist at the Innovation Science and Technology Ministry. I just want to quickly mention somebody else has another view of this. This is Aman Jabif, who says smart cities worldwide have been converted or are being built, and they are basically open concentration camps. Aman Jabi is from this from India originally. He's an engineer, he's worked in the Silicon Valley for 25 years. He's the co-inventor of 2 cell phone apps, and he emigrated to the United States because of the culture, he said, of liberty and ingenuity. Jabi says the large cities are toast. They're converting to smart city technology, and anyone still living in a smart city should make plans to leave immediately. If you don't believe me, type smart city networks into your favorite search engine and peruse what comes up. But it's more than just big cities. I'm not sure how many medium or small cities will be able to resist being the totalitarian infrastructure. Jabi goes on to say, what is still within our control is our homes and ultimately our own souls. And this is what we must protect from the demonic spirits of control that have been unleashed upon the world, Natalie. So we are, this is something that we need to be very watchful of, and it's something that's happening at a speed, a very high speed across the world.
I know, when you speak about all these things, it's like we are not in touch with nature anymore, with all these things. It's like we are totally cut off of all these things. But we have some good news. We just need to get ready for the coming back of Yeshua. Why am I saying that? Because when you look in the Jewish calendar, we are in the 6th millennium, and after the 6th millennium is the 7th millennium. And 7th millennium is the Shabbat millennium, which is the millennium that we are waiting for. And I spoke about that already a few times, but we really need to see how Yeshua and how God has organized the things. When Yeshua came, it was the 4th millennium in the Jewish calendar, and it's like 2,000 years. And if you remember, Yeshua was saying, we are in the last days, because that period from the 4th millennium to the 6th millennium is the last days. Now, he was at the beginning of the last days, and we are at the end of it. I think it's very, very important to know that. And at the time when Yeshua came, there was some preparation. And who came? John the Baptist. And you were saying about Zechariah, it was the name of the father of John the Baptist. And there is a lot of stories there that is expressed in the book of Luke. And I think it's very important. A little parenthesis, you say, in English, is like, if we look at the Psalm also 119, you can see it's just an amazing Psalm, 176 verses, and it's all with the letters of the Hebrew letters. You know how we spoke about the Hebrew letters, it will be really used again in the millennium of the Shabbat, because we will be all connected with God, with Yeshua, and with Israel, and with the Hebrew language. And so when you see this psalm, is a very long one, beautiful with all the letters. They go from all the letters of the alphabet, so it's 22 letters, and there is 8 verses. Listen to that because it's just amazing. 8 verses for every letter, okay? When you think about the number 6 is the number of man, humanity, the one who connect. When you think about the number 7 is Shabbat, is the creation, is the natural order that God has done, 7 days. And there is also the feast of the Lord, and there is like 7 cycle, you know, all these kind of things. And then you have the number 8. And even when you take the number 8 and you put it down, it's like infinity. The number 8 is like supernatural, is overnatural. Okay, so when you read this Psalms with all these verses, and they have 8 verses for every letters, is to show that even after the millennium, we will have the new earth and the new heaven, and it will be when we will be with God, we will be studying Torah, His Word with Him forever, which seems amazing, but His Word is so amazing. And when you read this Psalm 119, it's all about the Torah, which is very often translated the law, but it's not. The name in Hebrew is Torah, which means instruction. And King David is saying, how I love your Torah, how I love your instruction, how I love your ways, how I love your mitzvot, all your commandments, because they are showing something of the nature of God, and they make us be in the right path to be able to listen to Him, to be close to Him, etc., etc. So this psalm is amazing because, again, it's like preparing us and seeing that the Hebrew language is so important, that we are on the frame of time, that it will come, we will come at the time of the millennium of the Shabbat, which is very close now. Now, when you read, we're speaking about Zechariah. Zechariah was the father of John the Baptist, and John the Baptist was the one who was preparing the way for Yeshua to come. Now, when you read the story in Luke, it's Luke chapter 1, it's just amazing because the father of John the Baptist was a priest. So just think, John the Baptist should have been a priest, but he went in the desert because he saw that there was so much corruption in the system at that time that he was not going to be a priest in Jerusalem. But his father was a priest in Jerusalem, and they were chosen, they were many, and they were doing a lot. And one day he was sent, Zechariah, to be doing the service in the temple. So he went over there, and suddenly, you know what happened? He saw an angel, not just one angel, it was Gabriel, the angel who is bringing the good news, and was saying, your wife is going to have a baby. And so he's so important that he's going to prepare the way of the Lord. And when you read the story, it's just amazing read it again because it's really amazing. Now, we are coming at a very special time because God is saying now, sorry, I lost my thing. God is saying now we are living some very important time, like when Jesus was coming. There was a lot of manifestation of angels, and God was speaking to certain people very specifically. But when they weren't doing the exact things, God was making them not being able to speak. Like Zechariah, when he came back out of the temple, he could not speak. He couldn't say anything, because God said, this is a very important time. And if you don't understand what I'm saying to you now, you are not going to say anything. And so for 9 months, can you believe we are married, I'm pregnant, and for 9 months you can't speak. because it was so very important. So we need to know that God is preparing the earth now for the second coming. The first coming was very important, and there were some very special things happening. And now we are coming for the second, we are at the time of the second coming of Yeshua. And again, there is some very important things that are happening, and we need to make ourselves prepare. Please read this chapter and think about it. And again, she could not have babies, and suddenly God said, I'm going to give you a baby, because this baby is going to be very special to prepare the way of the Lord. So you see, we are really saying we are in time of preparation for the second coming of Yeshua. And we need to get ready ourselves and say, hey, what do I need to do, Lord? And He will speak to you.
And, you know, it's interesting because we need to prepare the highway. It's like remove the stones from the highway, prepare the way of the Lord for His coming back, and making sure we're doing the right thing at the right time with the right people, because there's never been a time in history where it's been more important. I mean, it's always important to do the right thing with at the right time with the right people. It's always been that very, very important. But now it's crucial, as Nathalie was saying. It's like John the Baptist's father. He couldn't speak because he
couldn't done things. He couldn't done things.
Right. He could have said things which were wrong. And it's, you know, I was talking to Nathalie before the program about the scripture where it mentions, go and hide yourself away. And it's like Noah.
Isaiah 23.
And it's also like the days of Noah. Jesus said, as it was in the days of Noah, so it will be at the coming of the Son of Man. So in the days of Noah, Noah had to be hidden. He had to hide himself away from what was happening. And, you know, we were talking about the artificial intelligence, smart cities, and all the different things, systems of control that are being brought into the world. And by the way, if you've got things happening where you live, let us know, because it'll be very interesting for us. These things are being brought in, and we need to be aware of that. But we also need to know that it's being allowed in a certain way. It's almost like the evil in the world is being allowed to come to
flourish,
to full maturity, and then it will be dealt with. It will be the day of judgment. The day of judgment will come, and the Messiah will come, and there will be a judgment of the earth. So these things need to be brought to full maturity. That doesn't mean we need to just stand idly by, but it does mean we need to be aware that there's a bigger system of judgment coming. We've talked before about the second Nuremberg trials, which were being talked about. I think it was Reinhard Fulmisch, and the second Nuremberg trials, with all the different things that have been happening with the alleged vaccine, the alleged jab, you know, and these things will be judged. All of these things will be dealt with, and the Lord's going to deal with all of it. Well, it's been great to be with you today, so thank you so much for joining us. Listen, we are so appreciative of your support, for those who are supporting us, enabling us to come out and bring the programs, talk about what's happening in Israel, how it affects the world, what's happening in the world with the last days, which is so vital. Our role as a mouthpiece to get this across to the nations. And so because of your support, we're able to do that. If you'd like to support us, if you are prompted to support us, then please do go to our website. It's www.israelfirst.org, and there's a donate page. And if you have any difficulties or any questions regarding ways of donating or ways of supporting us, then please do contact us at our email address, which is info@israelfirst.org. Well, thank you so much again for joining us across the world. We send our love and our shalom, and we look forward to seeing you on the next program. And remember, we're the program that looks at the land, the people, and the language.